Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and check it out. I've got a package here from the UK. This comes from a company called Retro Gaming Cables. Now, full disclosure, they contacted me and said like, hey, do you want to check out our product? We'll be happy to send it to you for free. And I said, okay, sure. So sure enough, they did exactly that, and now I'm going to show it to you guys and basically let you know if it's quality or not, and I think if I could recommend it or not. So let's get on with it. First, we'll open it, and then we'll talk about why it's so exciting. So inside, first we have some very nice like garbage paper or something, I don't know. And then inside that we have, ooh, a customized box. Yes, RGB Scart specialists. See, that probably gave away a little bit of what it was. But inside we've got some various exciting items. We've got a box, we've got bubble wrap, and we have 4 cables. I'll make it rain cables, son. So you're probably like, what? Okay, first of all, if you're at all interested in this company, there's a link in the description to their website if you want to order some of their stuff. But basically, here's the deal. Now, if you guys have been watching me for years, or you haven't, whatever, I'm really obviously into video games, and I also like I like to get the best picture quality out of a lot of our old game consoles. I've done many videos over the years on comparing like, here's every single way you can hook up the GameCube, and here's what they all look like, or I've done entire videos about specific RGB boxes to make sure you get the best options, you know, all that kind of stuff. I love doing that. And so if you're completely new to this, basically the shortest possible explanation I can give you here is a lot of our favorite retro gaming consoles are capable of very, very beautiful, clean pictures. The problem is, especially in North America, we never had access to it. They were built into the console, but we couldn't use it. We were stuck with composite for the most part. That was what pretty much everybody used. However, there's this format known as RGB, and specifically there was a cable called SCART that could tap into RGB and use it. The result was that the picture quality was much, much better, but it was pretty much limited to just Europe. I mean, North America never really had access to it. And unfortunately, we still don't, and we never will, because it's now 2018 and there's no reason to bring SCART ports into televisions in North America. But that doesn't mean we can't access the RGB signal inside of consoles and get very, very clean picture. Various adapters and boxes and things like that exist. I've done videos on them over the years. There's the cheap SCART to HDMI box, which when I first got it blew me away, but it blew me away because I had never seen RGB out of a console before, at least not an older console. I'd always been used to composite, so it was a big upgrade. And then when I started tinkering with things like the OSSC or the FrameMeister, then I really noticed, you know, the SCART HDMI box, there's a reason it's so cheap. It's nowhere near as good. So you have various options. Basically what I'm explaining to you is, you have an old game console, say the Sega Genesis, you really want to play it, you want to play it on your TV and you want it to look good, you will need a cable like this, you connect to it, then you will need a little box, there's many different types of boxes, and you connect said box to your modern television, and gaming, and it looks good. So the point of this video is basically to show you some of these cables that I got, and to see if I can recommend this company in general, because the thing is, over the years, while people are now kind of settled on which type of boxes they typically like, because I've covered them in a lot of different videos, I do get a lot of people asking me like, where do I get the actual cables, the SCART cables? And for years I've only ever had one answer, which is one very specific seller on eBay. So this is competition, and that's good, because I would like to be able to point people to other options in case the eBay seller doesn't have what you need, because I think in this case these guys actually had stuff that eBay seller did not. Now if you're curious about like which game consoles you can recommend, which ones actually use this or whatever, there's a long list in the description of all the consoles that either don't need it, are recommended with it, or can use it provided you do certain circumstances. Check all that in the description, or check my previous videos. The point of this video though is just, I want to show you some cables, and I'm going to test them out for myself, see if they all work, see if they're reliable, if I can actually, you know, put a stamp of approval on this company. But let's take a look at some of the actual cables here. Now this first one is a Sega Master System Model 1 cable. And so what I would do with this exact cable is plug it into the back of a Sega Master System Model 1, and right here, this SCART cable would contain both my video and my audio, which is nice for me because I've had a Sega Genesis Model 1 SCART cable for the Master System. However, well, it's for the Genesis, but the problem with it was I was always getting video, but audio wasn't supported. This now supports audio, so I can now use the Sega Master System in the most ideal of ways. So let's see what else I got. that because I think they asked me for a list and I made some. This was a long time ago. They contacted me back in like October. So I don't remember all the ones we picked. And then I think they said they were gonna throw in some surprises. Ooh, they gave me an original Xbox SCART cable. This is actually quite useful, even though I will tell you right now that the cable you want for the original Xbox is the Monster component cables. This will be very nice because this cable is the sole reason I could not make a best quality out of the Xbox video, which I can now do thanks to them because now I can show you all the different options. So awesome of them to do that, as well as this is a PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16 Euroscart RGB cable. I think this is specifically, if I recall correctly from their email, I think this is actually for the PC Engine Duo and the Turbo Duo, but you have to actually RGB mod that console first. So I may not actually be able to use this one yet. I have a PC Duo, but it has not yet been RGB modified. I will have to tinker with this one a little bit. And then also, this is one that I'm very excited about. This is the SNK Neo Geo SCART cable. I believe this is specifically for the Neo Geo CD. It also has additional RCA audio out. So I'm going to basically try these things out and just kind of give you a review of how they work as products. This isn't about comparing every single video cable this time. You can see that in the future, but thanks to them, you're gonna be able to see whole new videos specifically about that concept. So I definitely wanna thank them for that. Okay, so I've been using these cables for a while, and long story short, they're pretty quality. Are pretty good, they're quality. I really didn't run into any issues. They all worked right away. They gave off clean pictures. There was no like distortion or anything. I got nothing really negative to say about it. So I'll kind of go with, in general, my vibe about that store is, check it out, there's a link in the description, and I can say I recommend it. To talk about the ones that I have here specifically, so the ones I picked up were for the Neo Geo CD, Sega Master System, original Xbox, and the PC Engine or PC Duo more specifically, and I tested each one as best I could. Now, there is a couple of asterisks in there. Now, here's my Neo Geo CD. If you've been following me for a little bit, I got this in Japan in a junk bin back in October. Now, as of the time I make this video, I don't have a power supply for it, so I still don't know if this console works. And what that means is I couldn't actually test the cables with the console. However, these same cables do work on a Neo Geo AES, and they gave me no trouble over there. So, yippee. But so yeah, the cables work, but I am more excited to, of course, use them with this when that time comes, and I'll get back to you on that. The other one that's very to be determined is these. Now, this one is a little bit more on my end, but I kind of warned about this. This is the TurboGrafx ones, or more specifically the PC Duo ones. Now that's why I got it. My PC Duo is not RGB modified, and unfortunately it has to be in order for these cables to work. When you do the RGB modification, I guess a lot of the kits change the port on the console because this does not fit into a PC Duo. It doesn't fit into any piece of PC Engine or TurboGrafx hardware that I own. Apparently there are some models of the PC Engine where this will just plug in natively. I don't happen to have one of those, so I could not test it. And of course, like I said, my PC Duo is not modded, so I can't test it there. I have no reason to think these would not work, but I will get back to whenever I get that modification done. This is future-proofing for that event. But the result of that, the consequence is that I can't actually test it. Now then, I do have two, though, that did work perfectly fine with no issues, though exactly the way they're supposed to. The first is the OG Xbox, which, as you can see here, is the beautiful Japanese black smoke or skeleton. I don't remember exactly which one it's called, but it's a cool limited edition Japanese console. Xbox variant. Now the SCART cables for this worked just fine. And I was thinking about showing you guys footage of it, but then like I said, I want to do that Xbox comparison video, and so I'm not going to do that here because that would have been just kind of pointless. But point is, it worked just fine. I plugged it in, no issues. The one I am going to show you, though, is this, of course, Sega Master System. As I mentioned before, the way I was doing it before, I could see the picture but not the audio. Now I've got both. Now it looks great, it works great, no issues of any kind. So what I'm going to show you now, you can see right up on the screen, this is the infamous Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which was on the Sega Master System. And it looks really bad, doesn't it? That's running through composite. That's the yellow cables. That's the one you're usually using with an older console. And in this case, that's actually running through the FrameMeister and is being enhanced and cleaned up Yeah, and look how bad it still looks. But what if, just what if, we were to plug in the RGB Scart cable? Then what would happen? Look at that, look at the difference, look how much better it is. And it can be like that all the time. And this is, again, this is a console that has not been modified. This was in the console back in like 1986 when it launched. I think even I think it was even earlier in there in the Japanese version. But yeah, it's been in there a long time, and there's no modification required. You just plug this cable in and it will get access to the better video quality. And of course, like I said, it's also running through the FrameMeister, which is nice. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference in making sure you have the right cables. And so what I can tell you is that the dudes over at Retro Gaming Cables, they know what they're doing. They're making quality cables, and I would definitely recommend them. Give them a shout, check them out. Again, I'll put a link in the description. So I want to thank them for providing these, and I hope this was helpful if you're just looking into another place to find the cables and just kind of get a basic sense of what the point is. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.